It sure feels like all of these children dying is collateral damage. We can have a saved world. We can have a world that makes sense. Does it save all of our children from drowning? I don't know. But more so, we have other options. And this isn't on the parents. This isn't on the community. This isn't on the 17-year-old. This isn't on life. This is on all of humanity for not listening to me, for not coming and helping me. All the ridiculous signs and symbols. This is one person whose life was lost before the age of 18 via drowning. And as per usual, it's happening in BC. His name is Trey Townsend. Townsend was the last name of my best friend, a good friend who lived a couple doors down and didn't go to my school, but we bonded over our shared Christianity. And her family moved away from Lethbridge, and her dad died in a plane crash. Probably one of the rarest ways to die. Dangerous to go up in a singular plane, but not, you know what I mean? In a commercial. It wasn't commercial, it was one of the smaller ones. My first funeral ever attended was a cop funeral who died in a plane crash. But their last name, same. I was like, why are we talking? Because same last name. The drownings that have taken place in the signs and symbols listed. I forgot. I was like, oh, right. And the celebrities. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Matthew Perry, Mother Child Kennedy on a paddleboarding drowning after all the Kennedy connections with my family, including my mother being born on the day JFK was assassinated and then going on to give birth on the day that his brother was killed. Not a president, but nonetheless a Kennedy and a politician. And this boy, this baby, drown. And I don't think he needed to. And I don't mean his parents and drowning safety and lifeguards. I mean literally World War fucking 3 you all are choosing. And it's cost so many children their lives daily. And this is one more. DP Todd Secondary. So there's a lot of, before we listen to this, because I already fell down the rabbit hole, which is why we're here on this channel, looking at who DP Todd Secondary, Todd being, of course, Allie's dad's name, one of my cousins, who I haven't mentioned really, I don't think, maybe once, who had a falling out with the same aunt I had a falling out with, except theirs got violent and it wasn't on him. He's also the one that my dad lived with on a sailboat, and don't really know very well because my aunt got in a falling out, and you know what I mean? I didn't get to see him very often, even though I think he lives local here. David Todd, a longtime district superintendent for schools for District 9. I'm going to actually unshare this. We'll reshare this one in a second and share an obituary that's for the wrong one, because the one who the school is named after retired in the late 70s, and this man died in 2015. I feel like you don't retire when you're 20. You know what I mean? Like, no. So this person was born, but when I looked up DP Todd, so this is the wrong. In fact, this is not even DP, it's DA Todd, right? But when I looked that man up, this man came up, and he died at the Jubilee Royal Hospital in British Columbia. Again, wrong. I do believe wrong one, because he would have only been not even 20 by the time. Well, that's not true. He would have been 72. Would have been almost 30 at the end of the 70s. But nonetheless, you don't retire then, and so I don't think this is. And plus, they don't mention that he's superintendent. There's that as well. So I'm going to play the CBC lost 17-year-old, and then I'm going to talk about all of the deaths by drowning. And hope somebody somewhere comes and realizes I'm not the ridiculous one. You make all of that make sense. You know what I mean? Why did Trey Townsend, why did a Townsend lose their life? Drowning in BC.
So many people, and I didn't even know.
Golf clubs, hockey gear, and a pickleball racket. Just some of the memories piled outside this Prince George High School where 17-year-old Trey Townsend was set to graduate in less than a week. A milestone marred by tragedy after he drowned on a celebratory fishing trip southeast of the city. John and Chantel Beck raised Townsend from the age of 9 at the request of John's cousin, Corrine Townsend, also here paying tribute to her son.
Corinne McVer's not Margot Jubilee. But still, Corinne, Margot.
The beautiful thing is we were able to do it.
We were so blessed that he was able to come into our world when he did.
His parents described Trey as a child driven to succeed, a multi-sport enthusiast who could complete a Rubik's Cube with his eyes closed, and who finished his study a year early, eager to start his own business.
He was doing the great calculus math, pre-calculus, while the other grade 7s were doing theirs. And he was determined.
Jenny and I were talking about pre-calculus. He can solve a Rubik's Cube with his eyes closed. That is quite the feat. Solving a Rubik's Cube at all is a feat. Solving with your eyes closed? Are you kidding me? Like, actually?
To be smarter than his sister.
John says his son's nature is reflected in a whiteboard he found in Trey's bedroom, covered in goals for the future.
Talking about spirituality and prayer and, body, mind, and soul stuff. And then all the goals that he had was really heartwarming to see.
Morning spaces have been set up in Trey's high school, and students have been keeping constant vigil day and night outside, reflecting on his memory.
I had no idea the effect this kid had on so many people.
Every person Trey met for more than 10 minutes thought they were his best friend.
Graduation ceremonies are going ahead as planned this Friday, and Trey's family says they will be there to mark his achievements.
This is a moment to, celebrate the fact that our kid worked really hard and graduated a year early. And, we're just so proud of him.
He was so loved by so many people, and I
Worked hard to graduate a year early. Celebratory fishing trip. Remember what my other... Oh yeah, that there's drones in Edmonton, which is like the entire reason we have FIFA. So they can surveil us long after FIFA. I'm going to look at my own description because Margot's son, let's start off with the my enemy, Jack's enemy. You know what I mean? He's a different man. So like he might consider her his friend. Who knows? You know what I mean? He's a forgiving man. That woman was out to destroy Jack because he was put in a mental hospital at some point in time. I became her enemy because I called her on that. You know what I mean? I was like, you're saying he needs to not be near his grown-ass adult child who now has a child of his own. Because you think he shouldn't be around children because he was in a mental hospital. Bitch, guess where I've been? Not belonging. And, but the people who were there, who possibly did belong there when I was, you know what I mean? Who were getting help and getting new medications and put themselves there on purpose, etc. What's my point? I don't remember what my point was. To add on to that. But Margot, the day before, I believe, my daughter's birthday, I feel like that's not Brixton Fix. That's not Reckless Ben's birthday. They keep saying it's December 30th, but in one of the videos, I swear he said just like when he's asked by the cops in the unredacted footage, it says December 28th or 29th. So I'm waiting to hear that again because I'm assuming he, talking to the cops, gave the right date of birth and the internet has the wrong one. But December 30th, the day that Jessica put out her video and et cetera, et cetera. Now I don't remember what was just December 30th. Oh, Margot accused me of calling for her son's grave to be desecrated when I didn't even know she had a son who had passed away. And had like put a picture of her and it was like in front of a graveyard. And she's like, you can Google where that is, and then like you can reverse image search, and that's like not even at her son's grave, but could have been. And again, it's not obvious. It's not like as obvious as a lot of graves are, because I zoom in to find dates. Wasn't. I didn't dox her. Anyway, claiming that I said I was calling for the desecration of a grave. And I was like, find it. I don't know how to edit video, but if you find anything even adjacent to that, I will edit it out. And it was like the next day was my daughter's birthday. I was like, we're not doing it tomorrow. We're doing it right now. So we watched it like literally right after, and it wasn't there. And she's like, you found it and edited it right now. Like, there's no chance of that. I'm like, there's not even time for me. Like, yes, I guess someone could have watched it live, well, in another channel, right? Or like another device, if they knew how to edit. I'm like, but the fact I didn't know, like, anyway, you're a liar, Marco. And then she misremembered her son's death date by like 2 days. I'm like, is that on purpose? Like, were you trying to throw me? I don't know. It was weird. It was all kinds of weird. Not a fan of that woman who's a special eds teacher, or was, and is one of those narcissistic nightmares that come like is out to look like they're a good guy. I do not like that woman. We have had one-on-one conversations when I was in the very beginning, when I was trying to help Jack, thinking he was crazy pantses. He's not. He's saner than most of you. Raymond, my friend I met in Game B, whose birthday was the day I encountered Game B, and then he drowned in the same way as Matthew Perry, except he drowned first. And Matthew Perry drowned in the same way as my friend Raymond when he drowned in 2023. And I don't remember what date it was on, but I remember. I want to say Roald Dahl is the same, but I have no idea. I think that's just like it was similar around the same time. I remember the Roald Dahl on. We're not. Let's just continue on, because my youngest cousin, Gabriel, whose mom is the one who got in the fight with Todd, youngest cousin, because we're the second youngest. My dad's the youngest, and we were born, you know what I mean? Like, there's his next oldest brother, but so third youngest, has kids around our age, but all the other ones are like quite a bit older. And my Aunt Jody had 3 kids, same order as us, in like when we were high school students, or junior high school. So they're quite a bit younger than us, but they're also adults now. Like all 3 of them are adults. One of them shares Eric's birthday. One of them had a well-known, like, it's not very often that teenagers drown. Possibly the last time a teenager drowned in British Columbia was my cousin's best friend, who I've probably met but don't remember meeting because Gabe had the friends over when anyway, nice guys, if I have met them. Don't remember. Squamish weekend. The weekend I came up with the Venn diagram, and we were camping with my kids' school that would close down, and we randomly ran into one of the 9/11 twins from co-housing, who was there with their family and children, but wasn't there with the school that some of the co-housing kids went to. And then while we were there, a man drowned in Alice Lake. I might not remember the name of the lake. And we were trying to keep it from the kids, like, and they found out more than we wanted them to know because of us trying to keep it from them. Like, it was there's something going on. You can't go down by the lake, but we're gonna keep you here. And my kid with the leeches was quite she had collected leeches. We had to go put them back in the lake before we left. We did. I did. I went and put them back. Squamish weekend. My cousin's story. My cousin. I'm gonna go with my grandmother's favorite cousin. Most successful of us. I'm gonna get definitely. I'm like by far actually. Like as far as degrees, etc. She's both a lawyer and her little brother before I was born effectively drowned. We've talked about how, we talked about the murder weapon being the name of one of my cousins that was the next one of our cousins to die. And then she had her sons with, I think, her husband, and then another son with a new guy after being together a few years. And then he died of something similar to drowning, but not drowning. And my brother holds her brother's last name. Nope. My brother's middle name is her brother's first name. I don't think my mother cleared it with his mother. Did it as a tribute. Don't know if it is a tribute. So, you know, more dead children. A Dad Challenge podcast. The Emily Kaiser is, I think, her name, and Trigg was her son who died because her useless husband. Both of them, like definitely preventable. He was baby watching. Well, was he the one who was watching porn? I don't think he was sports betting. Well, his young toddler was out where the pool had nothing around it, and the kid could get out to the pool. So, like, leaving the useless dad to watch all kinds of things. But Josh has specifically, like, any moment of peace, anything where she's posted, he's like attacking her for her child who died. Children drown. Like, it's something that happens quite regularly. It's one of the worst, like, parts about working in the ER is all of the accidents children undergo that were preventable. Children's diseases, etc. And there's a newer person. So he's made it in his entire personality to attack this mother who's grieving. And although I didn't know Trigg, I didn't know around the same time Preston died in a car accident, a tiny little baby who went viral for jumping in mud puddles. And, like, I think if that little boy could still come up my newsfeed and burst into tears. And so Trigg's death is tied with Preston's, neither of whom I knew, but you know what I mean? Like, one of whom I had seen go viral and had been following adjacently. There was something about him that was just like, so, okay. Oh, and then, well, I don't remember. I know it's on the spreadsheet when the Kennedy mom and her son died. I feel like it's Chesapeake Bay, even. Oops, she grew up. Her mom grew up raised by enslaved women, or a woman. Malcolm Jamal Warner, a grown-ass adult man, and again, happens all the time. Oceans, river, like, nature is not a calm pool. Malcolm Jamal Warner drowning off the coast of Costa Rica on July 20th, where I had volunteered with a July 20th Australian. Jamal Malcolm Warner, who played Theo in The Cosby Show. And then the only Amber Alert here in Canada for a year and a half. There's now been one that was twins recently. I had just talked to the Amber Alert father. The only conversation I had in a DM, and his son Theo is the son that got kidnapped by him, a medical paramedic, like in the army, who had, I don't remember now, 2 older daughters or 3 older daughters and a 4th one born after his son. And the MCFD medical bullshit that kidnapped his son, and then they wouldn't let him see him, and he ended up, like, basically, like, taking his son, running with him and going to the cafe and the beach and just spending the day. And then it was probably the last time they're ever going to be able to see their son. Couldn't be a nicer, better family, and MCFD could not have effed that up more royally. How did that happen? That happened after the psych ward. Baby Theo. Still under MCFD care, I do believe. Useless as fuck doctors who don't love a child, just love their ego. Their story. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Not only, we also share the same lawyer. The useless lawyer that also basically works for MCFD. First name Isaac, won't give the rest, but, like, biblical. And I was like, oh, that's my lawyer. The one who basically handed over their son to MCFD. Sign away your medical rights. That'll work. I don't want to have to do work and labor. The amount, especially when lawyers are paid by other people, like, you're not paying for them, but they're paid for by someone else, that they don't know they're not doing their job. Wow. Aren't you supposed, like, feel like legally you are supposed to? All right, was there anything else no, we already watched the news broadcast. This is just signs and symbols we get through. Malcolm Jamal Warner, who of course was in The Resident with Maya. And we'd already covered Maya so very often before. Dated Russell Brand briefly, married to a Todd. Sorry, she's married to a Todd. Another Todd. Have a Leo together, not a Theo. Kennedy and Mom and Child, and Matthew Perry. Now we're going to look up Matthew Perry. And then I think y'all should come help save the world. Come help make sense of why all these things keep happening that are so many ridiculous coincidences. Because there's deaths, and there's cancer, and there's things that are absolutely preventable. And we could be living in utopia on Earth instead of day by day. You know what I mean? Like British Columbia and Australia on Fraser Island changed its name, still where dingoes hang out, got eaten by a dingo. Dingoes, sorry. The dingoes got put down most likely. Irresponsible tourism from, Timber Ridge. That's not the name of it, is it? Can't be Timber Ridge. It's not Timber Ridge, is it? Tumbler Ridge. On February 10th, the same day, Carlos attacked Thomas on his friend's birthday, my cousin who's adopted's birthday. And Tumbler Ridge happened the same day in British Columbia. A school shooting. The last one I remember, April 28th, on the rabbi's birthday, 8 days after Pearl Harbor. It wasn't the rabbi's birthday, sorry. Who would go on to become the rabbi. And who was the rabbi that I'd previously dated before. He was one when I put out Mean Girls versus Lucky Girls on his birthday. Just a third Ryan I dated with his shared story. And then October 7th, when all the signs and symbols clicked in the palace about Israel and Judaism, that Ryan, that grandparent, my Jewish grandparent, True Lies. Gotcha. I'm going to end this year. Here, you all should come help save the world.